Welcome to week 14 in the garden. Wow, this time of year, virtually every meal we make includes some fresh ingredients from the garden. So one of our favorite meals for breakfast has now become one of our favorites for lunch and dinner also. It's a farmer's market hash. We just roast up some of these great vegetables that we just pulled from the garden, some carrots, onions, potatoes, maybe throw in some cauliflower or peppers, and then throw it in a saute pan with these fresh greens. It's delicious. We've been harvesting some beets lately, and one of the things I like to do with these beets is just roast them for about an hour, and then I blend them to make a wonderful, delicious, sweet beet hummus served with the fresh cucumber. Sometimes we just take a look at our daily harvest and build our meal around that. Tonight we're going to build our meal around our green beans. We're going to start with a bed of fresh greens, add our steamed green beans, some tomatoes. We're going to caramelize some onions, maybe some air fried potatoes, and top it off with a balsamic glaze. This past week we finished off our edamame. Unfortunately, it didn't quite make it to our recipe. We ate it all in one sitting, straight from the steamer basket with a little bit of salt, and it was delicious. Edamame is one of those plants that once it comes up, you have a short window to pull that and to enjoy it. If you want to extend your season for your edamame, I would suggest maybe growing a couple of rows every 2 weeks in the spring, and that way you'll have a longer time to pull and enjoy that. In the meantime, we also pulled out all of our dried beans that were here in the middle. They seemed to be ready, and they certainly were once we pulled them. They were all dried up and ready to store in our pantry. I don't think they're going to last long. They're ready for a great soup or chili. And in its place, we planted some snap peas and snow peas. You can see them starting to come in now. Once they get a little bigger, I'll put in a little bit of support for them, something to cling on to as they grow. So the other day we made some tempeh carnitas, and we enjoyed those with some peppers and onions from the garden. So if you haven't seen our carnitas recipe yet, we have a cooking video that shows you how to make them, and they are awesome. And we have some delicious eggplant. So you'll probably notice that the homegrown versions of our eggplant and many other vegetables like our onions and our peppers, they're a little smaller than what you find in the grocery store. That's because we are growing naturally. We're not using any synthetic fertilizers or any fertilizers for that matter. But the smaller varieties that are homegrown are just even more delicious than anything you'll find in the grocery store. So tune in next week and we'll show you what we cook up with our eggplant. Don't forget to subscribe.